Hey there, welcome back to Total Geek Baltimore Presents. I am Baltimore, and today I am bringing you Dawn of X. That is basically the launch after House of X and Powers of 10 concludes. It's all the X titles that are debuting after that. I really can't wait for it to begin because there's 6 titles launching. It's very exciting. You know, you kind of feel like a kid again when the 90s were like booming and you had all the titles coming, all the X titles. It was just a whole bunch of fun. But I'm really excited about this because I think they've got everything firing on all cylinders. I think they're being smart about the approach to it. I think they're taking some good risks with the titles and giving some diverse lineups and teams for that, which is really exciting and great. So Jonathan Hickman kind of spurred all this along, and he will be launching XMen with Lionel Francis Yu. Which is going to be really great because I think he's a great artist, and I think they're going to be a really great team together. And that one's kind of interesting because it has, basically, it's an all-summers cast. You have Cyclops and Havoc, you got Vulcan, you've got Corsair, you got Cable and Rachel, you got Jean Grey and Wolverine. So it's kind of interesting to see all of them together lining up, teaming up together. So that'll be kind of fun to see that go on. I think some of the issues they've teased maybe going to the Savage Land and beyond, which will be kind of fun to experience that and explore that. In the realm of Krakoa and the Mutant Nation, assuming that does still, maintain as we go forward. So that's going to be kind of fun. I'm really excited about X-Men. Next, we're going to get a relaunch of Excalibur. And it feels kind of like the classic Excalibur feel, with a little bit of magic and that kind of mystical side explored. We're going to get a new Captain Britain, which is actually Betsy. Betsy Braddock will be assuming the mantle of Captain Britain, which would be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. Like, what happens to Brian? Like, where does he go? Brian and Megan and their child. So I hope they do make some appearances, at least kind of set up everything with them. They're moving back into the Braddock Lighthouse, which is awesome. It's a nexus point for all realities. So that'll be cool. So maybe we'll get some cross-time capers. That would be cool. Joining Betsy is going to be Rogue and Gambit, the married couple. You've got Richter and Jubilee and Apocalypse. Now, Apocalypse is a strange kind of fit, but if you've been reading House of X and Powers of 10, it's not quite as left field as you kind of thought it might be. And in some of the promo images, he's kind of interesting to see what's happening there. Him and Richter kind of have a moment on a cover, so let's see what that shakes down to. And then we're going to get New Mutants. That's right, we're going to relaunch of New Mutants. That's going to be by Hickman is going to be doing, I think, the first arc, and then Ed Bryson's going to be taking over with Rod Rice doing art on that. It looks really cool. It's got almost all my faves back into it. It's got Danny Moonstar, it's got Karma, it's got Magic, it's got Wolfsbane finally appearing. You got Sunspot and Cypher Warlock combination. And then you get the Gen Xers Chamber and Mondo. So that's going to be interesting to see how they all kind of fit together. And the first arc seems like they're going to space to find an old teammate. What teammate of the New Mutants is in space? Cannonball with his wife and child. So that's going to be really great to see them. So you can definitely tell that they're going to be going to the Shi'ar universe, or Shi'ar Empire. Deathbird's going to come make an appearance. So that'll be kind of fun to see that happen. I cannot wait for it. I think it's going to be really cool. And it looks like they're also doing like a series of like interlude issues where the younger students of Xavier are focused. Well, I like that. I like to see them getting a little bit of spotlight, so yay. Also, Excalibur is written by Teenie Howard with art by Marcus Toast, so that's going to be really fun. I like to see them together. Then we're getting X-Force as we continue the 90s rollout, right? So X-Force is being reformed, and it's going to be sort of like the intelligence espionage branch of Krakoa, and they're going to be doing covert operations, and it's kind of split in two with the whole team that's there. some doing espionage, and some doing the covert operations. So you have Beast and Sage, and Jean Grey and Black Tom Cassidy, which is an interesting choice. But if you've been reading House of 10 and House of X and Powers of 10, maybe not as out left field as you thought. It's also going to be Colossus and Domino and Wolverine and Jean Grey and Quentin Quire. So that's an interesting little team up to kind of see that going on. But X-Force looks to be a lot of fun. Then we're getting a title no one really expected, brand new launch of Marauders. And they take their name from, the group Mr. Sinister sent onto the Morlocks, and the X-Men have tussled with quite a few times. But Marauders is actually a team of X-Men who are guarding, Krakoa, and they're on the high seas. It's sort of like a high seas adventure. It's written by Jerry Dugan and Matteo Loli, I think, doing art. So it feels like a high adventure seafaring epic. You have the Hellfire Trading Club, led by Emma Frost and Sebastian Shaw. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see how that kind of plays into everything. You got a team of Kitty Pryde, which is actually called Captain Kate Pryde here. So I guess she's changing her name once again. Then we have Storm, we have Iceman, we have Bishop, and then we have Pyro. And I'm curious to see which Pyro this is, if it's Simon or if it's going to be a resurrected original John Alvarez. So we'll kind of see who that actually is. But I'm excited about it, and it looks interesting. The one title that's resurrected in this one, the last title that they released for this Dawn of X, is Fallen Angels. Now, Fallen Angels was a 1980s limited series, basically taking some of the New Mutants, some of the random mutant kids from around the neighborhood, and putting them together. So that's kind of a title no one expected to kind of be revamped or revisited or used again. But this one is interesting because it's going to have X-23 and Cable teaming up with a resurrected Quanon, who is now going by the name Psylocke, and it deals with her past and mysteries and some of the children of Apoth. So not really sure about that one. It's written by Brian Edward Hill with art by Simon Grodarski, I believe. And I have some mixed feelings about it. I'm going to give it a shot, but I'm not a fan of Quanon coming back. I'm really not a fan of her taking Psylocke's name. But I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can be convinced to care about her and be invested. Really not high on my list at the moment. But I'm really, really excited about the Dawn of X titles. I think the font they've chosen to be the titles is really interesting. I love the way that they kind of put those together. Makes it very nice tied in. And I think this brand new launch is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to kind of tickle everybody with the way that they move these concepts forward, especially given in this post House of X and Powers of 10 world that we're going to be living in. And I can't wait to see kind of like where things end up and how they kind of all tie together. I know we're going to get another launch of a few different titles coming up. I'm assuming there's going to be some more like solo titles. We haven't seen Wolverine in his own solo title for a while, so I'm sure that's going to be coming up pretty soon. And there's some other titles that we haven't seen in a while, like X Factor, which would be nice to see them again. Maybe Exiles, that could be a fun one. What other X-related titles do we have that could be floating around? I don't know. I'm excited about it. I can't wait. Dawn of X is going to be happening just shortly. It's going to be pretty damn good with 6 titles coming out, so you get your fix with a lot of different characters, so I think it's going to be really cool. But what do you think about Dawn of X when they announced that? Were you excited about it? Which title speaks to you most? Which one are you most excited for? And which one you're like, meh, I can see it if it doesn't. But That's what I want to know from you. So, like, subscribe, and share. Comment below. Tell me what your favorite series that you're looking forward to is. And I will be back with more Marvel goodness for you soon. And as always, it's all geek to us. See you soon.